Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roy Godby. I'm the Director of Project Controls with Caddell. And before we get started, I'd like to introduce a couple of my co-workers that I have with me today. This is Kent Thrower. Of course, you guys know him very well. And also have Johnny Cleghorn. And you know him probably pretty well by name in dealing with the monthly updates. The reason we're here today is to introduce you to a brief orientation of the Schedule Success program. And let me give you a little background on how the program came about. In a nutshell, Caddell does not have a very good track record for finishing strong on projects. We tend to struggle the last few months bringing the project in on time. And let me share with you a story. A couple weeks ago, I was at another base meeting with the owner regarding the schedule update, and he made the comment that Caddell really needs to perform well and finish this project on schedule. And he went on to say that Caddell is actually the contractor of preference on their base, but that we have a reputation for starting strong, but yet not finishing strong and therefore finishing late. So he said Caddell really needs to perform well on this project and bring this project in on time. And what he was referring to were two previous projects that we had done there on that base where things had gone well in the beginning, throughout the middle of the job, but then towards the end we began to lose time and, of course, ultimately finished late. So there's a lot of plenty good reasons for us to improve our schedule performance record. And, of course, you know, nowadays with the RFP process and the contractor evaluations that the government does at the conclusion of each project, it's ever increasing and ever more important for us to make sure we finish on time. Let me give you a little example of how finishing late can affect our pocketbook. Each month, we have in the home office what we call an operations meeting, a monthly operations meeting, and I'm sure y'all have all heard about that. It's where all the construction executives and all the Caddell executive members get together and we review each project. One of the things that the Project Controls Department does is prepare a report for that meeting whereby we report the status of each project. Pay attention to the float columns here and just scan down this current float column. You can see a lot of these jobs are behind schedule. Everywhere you see a negative number, that means that job is that many days behind schedule. So if you go all the way down to the last project, you'll see that currently we are a total of 770 days behind schedule. Now, there are some pending time extension requests and other owner cost delays associated with that, but also some of those days are Caddell days. We're just flat behind schedule. The point I want to make is that if all those projects finished today, and we were 770 days late, if you took those number of days and multiplied it times 4,000, which is a good average number for a typical Caddell project field overhead rate, that would equal over $3 million. So we're talking about a lot of money. And in the case of this example, it does not even include any legal costs associated with finishing late, or any liquidated damages that may be assessed, or any home office support that's required for the extra time that we're working on a project. And you can't really factor this in or put a number on it, but the effect it may have on securing new work. You know, additional projects that we didn't get because we had a bad track record. So it's a very real problem at Caddell, and the number one objective of the Schedule Success Program is to improve our planning and scheduling procedures and therefore bring our projects in on time. Okay, the first category of the program I'm going to talk about is project team tasks. These are the main points, the main bullets of the program that you guys, being on the project team, are responsible for. The overall schedule plan. This begins with development of the schedule and continues all the way through monitoring the schedule, keeping the schedule valid, meaning making sure that the schedule always represents what your intentions are for the balance of the project. Just generally having a good plan for your project and following it. That is paramount. Second is the monthly update application for payment process. And y'all know Johnny Cleghorn by name. I'm glad you got to meet him today. He's our update expert, so I'm going to turn this part over to him and let him talk about the update process.